Hello, this is Bennett Davison with EuroHooplife podcast. We're here with Michael Nwelue. We're going to be talking about Australia in Cairns. He played there last season, 2018. Michael, how are you doing today?
Doing all right. Thanks for having me.
Outstanding. Yeah, I just want to kind of just dig right into it, ask you a few questions. All we're doing here at EuroHooplife is leaving breadcrumbs for future basketball players and agents and families so they know what situation we're going to talk about, the city lifestyle, what are the facilities in the city like, and then how respectful are they of their contract. So you played in what team? We're talking about Cairns, Australia. When did you play there? Give me a little info on that.
I played there this year for the Cairns Marlins. So I got there about mid-March or so. Season started beginning of April, and we played all the way to the championship. Actually, we ended up falling short, but we played all the way until the end of August.
Okay. So you had what was the season like down there? You know, most of the basketball season in the northern hemisphere is cold in wintertime because it's an indoor sport. What's it like down there in Cairns?
Right. Yeah, it's interesting. It's kind of the opposite. As I was leaving, I was actually sick. I had been sick for like 2 months leading up to the time that I left to go to Cairns. And then obviously instantly it was a different weather change. And so in Cairns, it's pretty much warm, or it is warm all year round. Their winter season is just a bit more rainier or so. So it's more of a rainy season versus dry season. But, you know, it was the entire time.
It's a pretty tropical place. I played up there a couple times.
Right. So it was somewhere between 70s and 80s pretty much the entire time.
And how big is the city of Cairns?
It's not very big. I believe there's, counting kind of the surrounding area, there's about 150,000 people that actually live there, but it's about 350,000 with people visiting and stuff like that.
Okay, so you just played there one season. How was the whole experience basketball wise with the Australian? Like I played for the Melbourne Tigers a few years back.
I loved it. I played in Australia before. I played there last year. It was a little different this year. This league was a bit better, and it was bigger. So like our closest team to us was 4 hours away. So, you know, it was a nice team. It was a nice setup. We flew to all of the away games and stuff like that. So it was all you could really ask for.
Okay. Yeah, so now I just kind of want to ask you, what was as a player? This is more leaving breadcrumbs for players. What was the team like? Did they provide you shoes? Did they have gymnasium? If you got injured, did you feel like you were going to be replaced? Where certain countries feel like if you get injured 2 days later, there's an American sitting down in the lobby. What was the whole facility? I played in Australia. I love the league. I love the people. I love the culture. It's a very organized league, and it fluctuates. So give me a little inside scoop, basically on the team,
right.
Facilities.
I would say my situation was a little different from others. I went there this year, obviously. And the last time that they had American on their team was, I believe, 14 years ago. So it was a little different as far as, like you said, in a lot of places where, you know, if something goes wrong, there's instantly a replacement that's right there. But aside from that, you know, they paid for the insurance and everything. I was in a really nice area, and it was about 2 minutes from the gym. They were really genuine people, I would say, is the number one thing that struck me when I first got there, and they were super helpful from, you know, the team, the club, just everything as a whole. So they definitely made you feel
recommend it as for other players to play there.
For sure.
On how they take care of their imports or naturalized players.
For sure. No complaints on my end. Okay,
nice. No, yeah, we want to hear about the good stuff. We want to hear about the bad times, the crazy stories, and we're going to kind of get into that. As you're down there, you know, you also, when you have a contract sitting in front of you, you want to know how reliable that team is. So let's kind of dig into the financial portion of things. You don't need to share numbers, but at the same time, if you feel comfortable, the more information players have, the better. You went down there, you had a contract. When you signed it, how long did they need you down there? Where did you notice? Where were you noticed by this team? Was it your agent? Was it like a exposure camp in Las Vegas or?
So I had actually messaged this coach beforehand, probably 2 years before then or so. And I just messaged him again. I try and keep contact with coaches, which I would say is a major thing for players. So if you're sending a message or sending your information to a coach and he doesn't respond right away, don't immediately take that as, okay, that's it. And, you know, just leave it alone. You kind of want to stay consistent, persistent, really. and making sure you're staying in contact with coaches and everything. But so again, I messaged this coach at the end of my last season, I believe, and we knew mutual people. Some of the people that I played with last year when I was in Adelaide, he coached when they were younger, and so there was kind of a connection there already. And so really, I just messaged him, and he's also coaching in the NBL in the top league in Australia for Cairns Taipan.
Okay.
So it was a little tricky because, as for those that don't know, the NBL season is still going on now. So he had to kind of figure out which one of his NBL Australian players would also play with this team in the QBL, which is the league I played in. So it was kind of, touch and go for a while, and he had to kind of figure out where everybody's mind was. But once we knew, I mean,
it was locked in, got the contract, and you were over there.
Right.
Okay. And home base is Dallas, Texas.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, and give any information. How would people reach out to you real quick before we get into the, whether it's YouTube, whether it's Instagram? What's the best way to find you as a basketball player?
It's really all of the above. Facebook, Mike Nwelue, Instagram, same thing, MNWELUE. On YouTube as well, also Mike Nwelue. I try to put all of the different social media things on each one. So once you see one, you pretty much know where the rest are.
And then once we post this, you can subscribe to EuroHooplife, and you can also send little comments if people want to reach you. Now let's figure out. Let's talk about the financial situation. You want to find what level. How is this team going to benefit you? What's the financial side of things? How are they going to take care of you when you're down there, or whether it be with your family or just by yourself? How did you find the team on the financial aspects? We've heard about horror team situations. We've also heard of great situations. Mm-hmm. Share your experience with whatever you feel comfortable sharing with that.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, because I've definitely had both in my time playing overseas, but this was definitely one of the better ones. I know you mentioned it before, if there was like shoes and stuff like that. There wasn't. So I brought my own shoes and stuff like that, which I kind of do anyway. They didn't provide food. But again, it was in a nice place, and just kind of as a whole in Australia and wherever you are, I would say to other players, it's definitely important to try and research the information on the countries and see, which places cost of living may be higher than others. And so in one country or one city, you may get offered this much, and in another country, you may get offered this much, and one may be higher than the other, but depending on how much, how expensive it is to live in one place versus the other, you kind of got to take that into consideration.
And that's exactly why EuroHooplife is doing this, is be able to give players an inside scoop. If I gave information on teams that I played for in 2006, 2009, mm-hmm. It may not have the same effects as someone like yourself who just played for these teams. So,
right.
So it was. Did you get paid all? And the final questions, or did you get paid all your money? Was there any hiccups in the payment schedule like some teams can?
Nah, everything was always on time. And that's another thing, which, kind of depends where you are. But I know definitely from my experience in Australia, whatever you get paid for, like basketball wise, most of the time there will be some other form of payment. So you may be able to host camps or train kids and stuff like that. So that's another part of, whatever your contract may be. Don't be afraid to ask, or, if you have an agent, have them ask if there's other ways that you can make more money if you're not happy with it. This year, I didn't really feel the need to train or anything like that. When I was in Adelaide last year, I did. So aside from that, all the money was always on time. And again, no real complaints.
There was when I played in 2010, it was the Blaze, the Gold Coast Blaze. Mm-hmm. And are they still around?
I think they changed the name. Now there's the Gold Coast Rollers, and there's a
similar situation. We had to do a lot of community outreach. I think it was 2 to 3 youth basketball. And sometimes you have to drive to the outskirts, and they're doing a big. Australia does a lot of marketing for keeping the word of basketball, because Australian rules, rugby, cricket are the main 3 sports down there. So there's a little bit of competition. That's why the season's in the off season. So a little inside education on Australia. If there's anything you can leave for someone that would be watching this video, what would you say to them?
I would say it's definitely
1 to 10.
It's definitely important to definitely be, on the nail with what you're looking for, and to not put all of your kind of trust and reliance, especially coming out of college, on just an agent or word of mouth, that type of thing. Obviously, you have to be able to play. You need to have the right character because nobody wants to deal with people that are, going to be cancers to the team and stuff like that. But you want to make sure you know what you're getting into. I had an agent when I first started off. I won't name him, but things definitely did not go as they were supposed to. And I think that's a problem that a lot of players coming out of college, they just want to sign with an agent. They have an agent and they think everything is just fine at that point. And, if you have a great one, then it may be. But if that's not the case, you need to make sure you're doing your research, not only on the agent who you sign with, but also whatever teams you may be looking into joining.
Outstanding. And that's what we want to do, is leave information for players. We're going to do a shorter podcast. You told me you got a crazy story to be able to chat up. We're going to keep that separate. This is just specifically on the Cairns teams.
Right.
I will chat with you later. Michael, thank you for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Yep.
All right.